Good morning. Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I have the delight of being here with Lavonne Wells Sandberg.
Yes.
You are a spiritual teacher. Now you focus on life and grief, being a coach for that. But that's not where your offerings or gifts end. So tell our viewers about yourself a bit and how you got into this so they can learn about you a little bit.
Okay. Well, as you said before, I'm a spiritual teacher, and what I mean by that is that everything spiritual is what I teach. I believe everything is created spiritually first, and then it manifests physically if we are not paying attention. And and so if I can get people to focus in and look at what's going on spiritually first, or all the things, the signs that are showing up in their lives ahead of time, they can avoid a lot of conflict, a lot of pain, relationships that don't work. Many different things, and so that is the main focus. I offer a lot of workshops and classes on just basically living an accountable life, taking life by the reins, and making things happen. And then my main focus is a lot of the grief work, a lot of the loss. So it's not just loss of a loved one, but loss of career, loss of finances, loss of self, which is a big one, especially in the well, in a lot of different arenas, but the ones I've seen the most recently has been domestic violence, where they're coming out of it and they really don't know who they are and what's going on. But that's in a lot of different categories.
Right. And it's difficult to face these things as humans. We all have it. It can be hard to dig deep. It's kind of easier to get stuck in your day-to-day, be busy, and not even think about it.
Absolutely.
But that day-to-day can go south quickly if you're not addressing these things.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And so tell us how you got into it. You were kind of jolted into doing something like this.
Yes, the main event that took place in my life is the passing, the transitioning of my daughter Kiva. That really shook me to the very core. It was definitely a huge wake-up call, and it got me to the point where I became super clear about my life work and my life purpose. I was in so much pain, and I was just devastated because I had to make the choice of taking her off life support. And I did make that choice, and it was the best thing I could have ever done. The most humane is what the doctor said, to take her off. Because basically her whole entire body began to shut down. She had something called McCune-Albright syndrome, which back in 1999, they only had 12 documented cases out in NIH, out in Maryland, and National Institute of Health. And she was one of the most extreme cases they had ever seen. So it was quite the challenge. But I took her off, but I was able to hold her for an hour before she actually transitioned. And so I got to be a witness to that. And I had some incredible experiences as a result. And that's what pretty much kept me sane, because of those experiences. Being able to feel her even in her transitioning, and feeling her as I left the hospital as well. So it was pretty intense.
And so that made it very clear to you what your life needed to be.
Well, one day on the floor in a pitch black room in so much pain, and then literally instantaneously, I just said to myself, this hurts. What are other people doing? And I immediately stopped crying. I gathered myself, and I just thought, how can I support and how can I assist other people going through this pain? Because it just feels like I'm dying right now. And so I just thought, I'll pick myself up and I'll start focusing on how I can support others. And literally that's what happened.
Well, thank you for taking your energy to do that. That's amazing. You gave me this little card. Should I open it? It says believe. Pop open here. You probably can't read that, but I'll read it for you. Believe, pop open here.
Yes.
And these are things you handed out.
March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, one of my favorite holidays, because I'm originally from Boston. I'm not from Utah. Born and raised East Coaster. And we've always celebrated St. Patty's. And also in our family, we have Irish on my father's side. And so for her to transition on St. Patrick's Day, I was like, oh my gosh, is this going to become the worst holiday now? And it hasn't, and I've just kept the tradition going. And I got up on St. Patty's and decided I'm going to go out and meet a couple of strangers, friends, strangers, friends I haven't met yet. And I just handed them out to people.
Unmet friends. All right, let's open this up and see what it says. Believe. Never sell tomorrow short. There's plenty to get excited about. Be filled with expectation, hope, and confidence. Believe something good is going to happen, and it usually will. Robert Schuller.
Woohoo.
Thank you for that. That's
You're welcome.
Now, one of our focuses today, or our focus today, is tolerance. Can you go into that for us and tell us, please?
Yes, I think that's a potty word. I thought about it yesterday just a little bit because I thought, I want to take this to my friends on Facebook. Tell me, what does tolerance mean to you? And I got a ton of different perspectives and different ideas and belief systems through that conversation. And the reason why I say it's like a potty word, I think about it. Tolerance? You're going to tolerate me? I don't feel empowered by that word.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit like I have to because it's the in thing to do nowadays. I'll tolerate your religion. I'll tolerate your belief system. I'll tolerate your sexual preferences. I'll tolerate all these different things. What is that about? It's still conditional. And if we're working towards, love, just pure love or unconditional love, then tolerate, I don't know how that fits in there. For me personally, so based on everything that everyone talked about on my Facebook little panel thing I had going on yesterday, I thought I just have to go in there with what I believe tolerance is to me, because there was just so much. For some people it was like tolerance is about loving people and being able to not agree with them, but still, be able to be in the same room with them and have these conversations. And then some people said it's not tolerance, it's acceptance, and that's a word I would choose. It's more of acceptance. Like, get rid of the word I'm tolerating this or you or tolerance, and what about accept or acceptance? That's just more of a love feel for me.
And it's important to go both ways. Kind of thing. We need acceptance and we need to extend acceptance.
Absolutely. And you're still not necessarily going to agree. We're on different, how do I say it? We're on our own journey, our own perfect journey on the planet together, doing the very best we can. And we have enough challenges than individually. It's just, I find it very interesting. So that's just my take on it. I just believe when we become accepting as far as someone's belief system, or say, I don't like to use, politics and religion are like the taboo conversations, but there's a lot of people that with the elections, they tolerated their family and friends to the point where they actually unfriended them or blocked them from their pages. That's where I think the tolerance comes in. The acceptance came in for me. So there were people on there that I didn't necessarily agree with some of the viewpoints they were saying, but I love them so much, and I know where they are as a person. That it's just like, you know what? That's their journey. That's what they believe in. That's where they're at. They're not out there hurting anybody. They're not out there doing violent crimes or whatever, because I have kind of zero tolerance for doing harm. But
there's a lot of wisdom in you. There's a lot you have to teach people. How can people find you and reach out to you to be able to talk to you about their stuff and get coaching, and tell people your website and how they can reach out to you?
So you can reach me at www.lavonnewells.com, and that's Lavonne.
Levonne, okay.
Wells.com, and all my information's on there, all the different services that I offer. It's pretty, I love it when I'm having face-to-face or even on the phone conversation with people, because this is like nothing compared to what we really get into when it comes to moving forward in life and having that coaching or support.
Lavonne, thank you so much for joining us again on the show. It was a delight.
Again, always.
And hope to have you back again soon. Don't go anywhere. We have Nuzzles & Co. coming up next here on the Mountain Morning Show.